If you've ever wanted to make a proper strawberry shortcake, then this video is for you. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Hey, you're watching Preppy Kitchen, where I, John Cannell, teach you how to make delicious homemade dishes to share with your family and friends. These shortcakes will be ready in a snap, so let's get started. First off, we're gonna wash, hull, and slice 1.5 pounds of fresh strawberries. You can get away with 1 pound if you wanna be, a little bit less berry-minded, but 1.5 pounds will give you a really nice pile of berries for each shortcake. While you're prepping your strawberries, set that oven to 425. You want it nice and hot. There is no chill time for this recipe. If you see any cute, tiny strawberries, reserve those for the tops of your shortcakes. You can set up a little assembly line, just hull the strawberries and start slicing. It's much faster than doing them one by one. My strawberries are all sliced up. I'm gonna add them into a bowl now, and we're gonna do an important step called macerating. Macerating strawberries will draw out excess water so they don't weep and just, make a watery mess of your shortcakes. It'll also sweeten them and intensify the flavor because we're pouring on 1/3 cup of sugar. This is also a great way to sweeten strawberries when you get those ones that are just not the best summer strawberries ever. They're very elusive, those strawberries. Give these strawberries a toss. We're gonna refrigerate these while we make our biscuits. They'll be ready by the time the biscuits are, but if you want to do some prep work in advance, these can be done the night before, and they're just gonna be intensifying in flavor and dropping a lot of delicious liquid, which you could use for something else, into the fridge. A proper strawberry shortcake has a shortcake. If you've ever been to the supermarket and you see these weird Twinkie-shaped donut things they call shortcakes, that's not it. It's kind of like a biscuit, but a little bit richer, a little bit sweeter, but all those amazing, fluffy, crunchy biscuit moments. We're gonna add 4 cups of flour into a large bowl, and this whole thing is getting made by hand. No machines today. There we go, 480 grams exactly. To sweeten things up, I'm adding 1/4 cup of sugar, that's 25 grams, 50 grams. A teaspoon of salt for contrast. If you're using a fine grained salt, down to 1/2 teaspoon because that's twice the salt because of the small crystal size. To leaven these biscuits, I'm using 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda and 1 tablespoon of baking powder. We're gonna grab a whisk and just whisk it up. When it comes to making shortcakes and biscuits to a much larger extent, there is a ton of debate on the best way to do it. I find that if you just cut the butter up into, thin slices like 1/2 tablespoon, it's gonna be good to go. The main thing is to do this by hand. If you use a food processor, which you can do, your butter size is gonna be pretty uniform and you're not gonna get those explosions of height and flavor that make shortcakes so delicious. Okay, now you have 2 options. You could use a knife or a biscuit cutter, or if you have cold death hands like me, you can just use your hands and it's gonna be fine. Some of you who run really hot, you'd melt the butter and it's not fun. Break the butter up into pieces, and you wanna have everything from almond size all the way down to lentil tiny grains. So just break it up, mush it in. The mixture you're gonna be left with is called a shaggy mixture. It's it doesn't really come together, but there's lots of, it's almost there, it needs some liquid. And unlike in pie dough, we're gonna add a good amount of liquid, and some of that will be buttermilk. It'll react with the baking soda and make them extra fluffy, puffy, amazing. The butter's all mixed in. You can see I have some bigger pieces of butter rocks, almond-sized pieces of butter, if you will, but it's starting to warm up, so I'm gonna pop this into the fridge while I get the liquid mixture ready. Just chill down. Into a measuring cup, I'm adding cold ingredients, starting with 1 cup of buttermilk. In you go. It's 240 ml. 1/4 cup of heavy cream, and 1 large egg. Give this a good mix. Now we can make our biscuits. Your hands are gonna get messy again. I'm warning you ahead of time. Creating a well in the middle, and now I'm gonna pour the buttermilk in and start folding in as I go. Use that fork just to mix it in. You could also use a knife if you wanted. And we are gonna have a messy, wet, shaggy dough, but that's exactly what you want. If it was homogeneous and the same throughout, it wouldn't be a nice biscuit. Once it's almost all together, we're gonna dump this out onto a well-floured surface and pat it into a thick disc. You can see there's some unmixed bits. We're just gonna work this together ever so gently until it's just cohesive. One of the main things that you can do wrong in a biscuit or a shortcake is to make the dough too thin. It's just not gonna rise up. It's gonna be a flat, tasty, but not amazing cake. You can see just patting it down was all it needed to come together. There's a lot of excess liquid in some parts of this dough. You also wanna move the dough around so you know it's not sticking. Just like pie crust. Okay. So is this 1 inch thick? Yeah, just 1 inch thick, good. It's time to cut our shortcakes out. You could use a 2.5 to 3 inch sized round cutter. And if you've made biscuits before, you probably know you need to push straight down, no twisting. You don't wanna seal the edge. If you seal the edge, it can't puff up. In between each cut, you're gonna flour your cutter as well so it doesn't stick. Once you have the scraps, what you're gonna do is press it together carefully. You wanna get these kind of raw edges just to be put back into place, and then you're gonna form it back up. These aren't gonna be the most beautiful ones because they're the scraps, but you can't waste any of this because it's delicious. My last biscuits are placed. The optional step right now is to brush the tops only, not the sides, the tops, with a little bit more cream. You could even use milk if you wanted to. This will just give them a little bit of a beauty shot, and it'll hold the sugar we're gonna put on top as well. Gonna add some coarse sugar. You could use regular granulated sugar as well for a bit of crunch and texture, and sparkle. Don't worry if your shortcakes have some cracks and look a little bit, ugly, because this is gonna be piled high with whipped cream and strawberries. You're really not gonna see that much. Final step before we go into the oven is a sprinkling of sugar for crunch and sparkle, as I mentioned earlier. These beauties are going into the oven, 425 for about 15 minutes until they're puffed and golden. While my biscuits are cooling, and look how golden and beautiful they are right now, we're gonna make a really easy whipped cream. 2 cups of cold, heavy cream right into your mixer, about 3 tablespoons of sugar, and 2 teaspoons of a nice vanilla. We're gonna mix this on low and then move up to high so it's not super messy. Start on low, transition to high slowly, and we're gonna whip this until we have nice, beautiful, soft peaks. Don't over whip or it turns into butter. Don't walk away, it's done. Look at that. You can always finish whipping this up by hand. It's better to finish the last moment by hand than over whipping and regretting it with your mixer. Beautiful. Cut your shortcakes in half. I love seeing all the layers, and the inside is so just soft and amazing, while the outside has that nice kind of crunch. We're gonna add a generous dollop of whipped cream right on top. And now some of those delicious macerated strawberries. Scotch more whipped cream, add the top on, and now a final dollop of whipped cream and a couple berry pieces to finish it off. The crowning achievement, a little tiny strawberry right on top. Just like that, you're ready to serve. If you like this video, check out my spring playlist. Oh my gosh, the creamy vanilla strawberries, that flaky shortcake, it's amazing. I'll see you in the next video.